All-Americans Will Lynch for Notre Dame. Alec Stathakis for Denver, and it's the Irish who win the first face-off. Lynch came into the game number 2 nationally in face-off win percentage. Stathakis not far behind in the top 10. And after Notre Dame controlled the opening draw, Denver able to win it back, and the Pioneers will look to clear to set up their first possession. Here's for Connell. Stathakis and Lynch for round 2. Lynch last year 60% plus during championship weekend. Will Donovan, the All-American, had the ground ball. Denver able to get it back. A.J. Mercurio, he's a threat in transition. Expelliarmus. Here comes Ben Ramsey. Today. It can become a bigger weapon on Monday as well if Notre Dame gets there. Face-off violation against Notre Dame. That's 1, 3.5. And a 32nd man up for the opposition. Chris Kavanaugh. Notre Dame might be the most recognizable brand, or one of the most recognizable brands in sports, not just college sports. But Notre Dame lacrosse has had a long road. You're now talking about Notre Dame lacrosse now moving into that blue blood territory, Quint.
They started a varsity program back in 1989. It took them 35 years to win their first title. Emboldened by that gold trophy. They've almost been unbeatable this year. Only one loss, late finish.
And focus that they had in the backyard as kids, like nothing scripted. Everything was totally freelance, and you saw that last goal by Chris Kavanaugh. That is something that is specific to the backyard, and you can't think about it. It's all your instincts kicking in.
You mentioned the Kavanaugh brothers finals, first team all Big East.
It's a little bit of a communication issue in this venue. Huge crowd, it's noisy downstairs. You got to think that Liam Entenmann was barking to his team. Who's going? Who's hot? Who's the double team? And sometimes
7-goal game against Ohio State. If Denver can get him activated, boy, it adds another weapon to an offense that at times has not had a lot of punch this season.
And that pattern was just gorgeous. You draw the double team. Notre Dame fills to the crease. They create that skip lane. The midfielder scrapes to space, and he's looking Liam Entenmann in the eye from dead center. It's gorgeous offense.
Notre Dame wins another face-off, 7 of 8. Will Lynch has been terrific in this NCAA tournament, 75% coming in the first 2 games. Last year, going into
tradition, whether it was his classmates back in 2005, their first win over Denver, or whether it was the next generation when Coach Tierney with that NCAA appearance, an NCAA championship.
Denver loses another face-off battle. Notre Dame dominating at the X.
Matt Brown, to me, most impressive.
He was kind of sideways with his plant foot, so when he came out and he escaped, he had so much net.
He came to Notre Dame on a lacrosse scholarship, walked onto the football team. Now he's on a full scholarship for football. Lynch shovels it back. Another face-off win for Notre Dame, and Lynch has won 8 in a row. The Irish have won all but 1 face-off today.
Jordan's really humble. What stinks?
He was lightly recruited out of high school. His first head coach at college, Dan Shamati, was stunned when he first saw him. This guy's huge. How come nobody's on him?
Homegrown. Denver has always thrived with Colorado, California, and Canada kids.
Time expires. Half number 1. The Pioneers within striking distance. Only down a goal to a note. In the first half against Syracuse, did finish with 2 goals.
Silstrop sets the tone for this offense. You go back to week 1. Upset win at Hopkins when they were down by a handful. It was all Silstrop.
Stathakis had the face-off one, then coughs it up. Unsettled Notre Dame. And how is that not a push from the back? It should be. They'll say in the crease.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Wow. Denver game against Duke this year. He brought one of the best defenders in the country, Kenny Brower, out to that high wing. And what did he have? 7 points in that game.
Yeah, and that move set up a clean pick. He's able to run downhill with the football hash marks that you can't see on the field, thankfully.
Lynch wins the face-off. He has won 11 of 13.
I'm Michael Lampert, I am playing completely in space against Sean Light. Because if you get into the body on 90 in white, he will gobble you up.
Crash the goal for rebounds. Malowski kind of with a pool cue of a poke. And if you're Entenmann, clamp. Use that big head of the goalie stick to clamp the ball and then turn and rake it away from the opponent.
Goals in his last six. 6 straight multi-goal games entering championship weekend, including 4 hat tricks in that span. And that's his 7th of this NCAA tournament. We're going to have a hold. First they said it was Notre Dame ball. Now they say Denver ball, the hold on Notre Dame.
And then you have the family aspect. You saw Tom Schreiber with his dad, Doug, and just that connection from father to son. And there's so many great stories in the PLL. And the league continues to be like a rocket ship. And I think this year we're going to have some awesome opportunities with different fan bases coming to the party, right? Because this is the first time there's a geographical and regional affiliation with all these clubs. So you're going to have fans that start to really get behind these clubs.
Albany, ABC. Clark, tell me the first time you saw that commercial, you didn't think that Schreiber was actually Tommy and not his dad.
Exactly.
Are they clones or what?
Yes.
That's crazy. Sense it, they can taste it.
Largest lead for Notre Dame.
Stand up, stand up. Illegal procedure, white's leading, red ball. You're
Red
way
ball.
leading. You're way leading.
You can
Upon good play, and next thing you know, you potentially can go on a 1, 2, and 3 goal run. Momentum changes quickly in this sport.
had it passed his prologue. Now we saw Notre Dame do that in the 2015 semifinals against Denver. They looked like they were toast, down 4 goals. Sergio Perkovic authored one of the great fourth quarters in the history of championship weekend. Notre Dame in 12 minutes for the Pioneers. Now can Stathakis find his mojo against Lynch?
Lynch is winning the whistle. You guys mentioned Lynch ran an offensive shift at Chaminade on Long Island. What he's done now is he's become a student of the game. He's mastered the craft. Whether it's the ability to study film, to track the cadence of the different officials, to time up that whistle. He's become a professional at the face-off art.
Yeah, he told us too, mentally he evolved. He said he lost one before, it would get to him, that plane. He was Brown's top scorer the last 2 years as an attackman. And Lynch wins yet another draw. Now, so many times this year when Denver has had to come back, Stathakis has been the game changer. The guy who can swing momentum, playing, make it, take it. Will Lynch has put any thought of that to rest all afternoon. All in the second half. And now the mountain got much steeper for Denver. Lynch and the Irish pressing downhill. Boom! Nick Harris from the wing off the face-off win by Lynch. And Notre Dame starting to pull away.
So you're going to ask yourself, what's Nick Harris doing playing attack? Well, it's off a face-off. What Notre Dame likes to do is ride with that with that attackman if they lose a draw. You got 2 Kavanaughs and Harris, who's in for Taylor.
Even the shorties can rip it.
Dublin, Ohio, valedictorian of his high school class. Again, he's one of the grad students. Been there, done that.
That's unbelievable. When you look at this offense as a whole, #1 in the nation in scoring offense. The top team in the country in college lacrosse shooting percentage. They have the top extra man offense in the country. And D-middies like Harris, who's feeling it right now, shuffling his feet. You give him time and room, he can hammer it.
Their fans are enjoying it too. 3 goals in the span of 61 seconds.
I thought that looked like Mike Golick Jr. doing some military presses.
No, he's not getting here until tomorrow, I believe. And he told me stay away. 1 goal game at halftime, and Notre Dame has poured it on in the second half, up by 7. And if the Irish win this game by 5 goals or more, it would be the 7th time this season that Notre Dame has handed an opponent its worst loss of the year.
Workmanlike and methodical today, quite honestly. Will Lynch would have to get consideration for an MVP. But they've been dominant. Remember, that loss at the end of February against Georgetown was a wake-up call.
Today's Capital One player of the game is Notre Dame faceoff man Will Lynch, and he is with Paul Carcaterra.
Will, you were incredible. 18 for 23 at the Faceoff X. Why so dominant?
I mean, all credit to our preparation throughout the week. I mean, this group is really the most selfless group I've ever been around. It's not about me, it's about we. And we really dial in throughout the week. Even the guys you don't see on the field, the success you do see is because of them.
I've watched you ascend from freshman year to now. What do you attribute your growth to?
Honestly, experience. When I first started, I really didn't know what to expect originally. But really, the group of guys are always supporting me. There's been some tough bumps along the way. But really, the experience has been a big contributor. We ended last year on a high note. We rode that success all the way into this year. Every week we build on that.
Every team has their own identity. You won a championship last year. What is this year's identity?
I kind of think it goes back to the selfless culture we have. It's when you're a part of a group like this every day, who really just puts their nose down and grinds. I think the culture we've built the last 2 years is something super special, and it's when you're able to live your dream out playing right here with a group of guys that you battle with every day. There's nothing better than that.
Great job, Will. You need an ice bath, bud.
I do.
The season ends for Matt Brown and Denver. Will Lynch has been dominant through 3 games.